Welcome, good morning. Let's continue. The following summer, after his freshman years at Harvard's University, Ibrahim went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone for the gold spots. So, still he was working on those gold spots of the butterfly and how important they were for its functioning. Using the laboratory's sophisticated means advanced, instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. Now he was working on the chemical structure of those hormones. A year and a half later, during his junior years, Everett got the idea of his new theory about the cell life. So, step by step, he was moving forward. Now, he was more interested in the cell life and how they work and what was its structure. It came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structures of the hormone. Now that was when he was working in his laboratory. When he saw these photos, Ibrahim didn't shout "Eureka!" Means when he saw the result, he should have been very happy, excited about what he had discovered. But here it is said that he didn't shout "Eureka!" Eureka when you achieve something great and you are very happy. It's Eureka! Or even I've got it. He didn't shout, "Oh, I got it! I have done a great discovery." He did nothing of that sort. But he believed that along with his findings about the insect hormone, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles. See, that means he had found something which nobody had yet done. So he discovered something new and which would help in the later experiments and theories, which would be a lot more help to the others. How the cell can read the blueprint of the DNA. The DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. That we might be knowing that all creatures, all living beings have the DNA chain in them, and it is identical. It is very different from each and every human being. Also, they are different. That is the way you identify yourself. So, it determined the forms and functions of the cell. We all know that the cell are really very minute, very small. We need very well equipped advanced microscope to see the cell, and that nucleus which is a part of the cell is much more smaller than that. So, and how it works, that had to be found out. So, it was very difficult thing. Thus, DNA is the blueprint of life, and we can understand about a person through his DNA. We can identify the person also according to the DNA chain. Ibrahim and his college roommate James R. Wong, that was his friend in his college, work at night drawing pictures of the constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. So, he was working day and night with his friend, gathering more information. Together they later wrote the paper that explained the theory, and when you discover something, you have to give it in a written form. So, he and his friend both were working very hard day and night, and after that when they had discovered, they knew that they had discovered, but the theory is applicable only when you prove it in a written format. So, they had to write the theory also about it, that how it works, what happens, the changes, everything. So, they were writing the theory. Surprising no one who knew him, Richard E. Bright graduated from Harvard with highest honors, and Harvard University is really a very well known, renowned university, and from there he finished his graduation and with a very good result, second in the class of 1510. So, he was second among these many students. Ibrahim went on to become a graduate student, research at Harvard Medical School. There he began doing experiments to test his theory, and then he continued doing tests about his theory. He wanted to get more deeper and deeper into it. If the theory proves correct, and he says that if the theory would prove correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the process of life, how life develops, and if his theory is turned right, it would help them, and how the life develops through the process. It might also lead to new ideas from perverting some type of cancer, and that was his theory also, which could be helping in prevention of the types of the different types of cancer also, disease and other diseases. All of this is possible because of Ebrard's scientific curiosity, and he says that everything is possible due to his scientific curiosity. He was very curious to know everything. His high school research into the purpose of the spot on the monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life, and previously he did not know where he was working. He just wanted to know about the spots on the butterfly, and when later on when he discovered, it led into the greatest theory. Richard Ebrard has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, and you might be knowing, or no, I don't know much about it, but there are lots of people in the world who do collect butterflies, different species of butterflies as their collection. And this was when he was a small child, and when he started collecting butterflies, the journey began from there and led to the world's greatest theory, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests. Just imagine, he was working so hard on this, yet he was also working on the other things. Just imagine from where he took time out of it, that he was working on such complex theories, yet he was not just confined to only one theory and working on only one thing, but he was also interested in others, and he kept on working on other things also, on other theories also. So Ebrard also became a champion, a debater and public speaker. So he was also a debater and the public speaker. He used to give speeches so that the others could understand, and a good choirist, and all around outdoor person. He was not confined only to his laboratory and sitting inside and doing this experiment. He was also an outdoor person who used to roam, who used to go to other places, do things, find out new things. He is also an expert photographer. See, he is also a photographer. He loves taking pictures. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibit. He likes to take the picture of nature and scientific things. He is also a good photographer, being a scientist. In high school, Richard Ebrard was a student because learning was easy. He turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and model United Nations Club. He was also interested in debates. He also found someone to admire, Richard A. Witherell. That was the other person, that was his admirer, means he loved his theory and he liked his social studies, teaches and advises to both clubs. Mr. Venhire was the perfect person for me. Then he says that that was the perfect person whom he worked with and whom liked working with. He opened my mind to new ideas, Ebrard said, and Ebrard says that he was the person who opened my mind to new ideas and new things. He motivated me also in lots of other things also. Richard would always give that extra effort. He always, that is what makes a person great, because they work a bit more than the normal people. They give each and in everything, they give a bit of extra that achieves their goal, that helps to achieve their goals, and that makes them different from the rest of the crowd. So he worked a bit more always. Mr. Weinthal said What pleased me was here was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research beside doing all the research with butterflies and his other insects. See, every night he gave 3 to 4 hours for the debate and talking about the subject. His work was still going on, he was working throughout, but he used to take out time for the extra thing that was his debate in his life, that was something more. Richard was competitive, means who loved competition, who liked to work. Mr. Wienher continued, but not in a bad sense. He explains, Richard wasn't interested in winning for a winning sake or winning to get a prize. See, he was working not only to win or to win a prize. That was not his motive, that I will achieve something, I'll get a first prize, or my name, everybody should be knowing my name, I would become a great personality. No, he was not. The other person says that he was not much interested in winning everything or getting the prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. He was just doing the things because he loved doing it. He was curious. He wanted to discover things. He wanted to prove things. That was what was in him. So he worked hard, not to show others, but as his personal. He took it very personally and for his own interest. For the right reason, he wants to be the best, and it is said that he wanted always to be the best in what he did. So on that, for that reason, he kept on working, kept on going. Next is, and that is one of the ingredients in the making of a scientist, and that is what the scientists are made of. They keep on working at the same goal until they don't achieve it. And then they keep on working very, very hard for it. Start with the first rate mind, add curiosity and mix in the will to win. See, this is the mantra of success. This is the slogan that we can put, and we can also make an effort doing this. What? From the first rate mind, add curiosity. Curiosity is very necessary in whatever thing you do. So curiosity is very, very much necessary, and he kept on doing that curiosity and mixed it the will to win for the right reason. Ebright has these qualities from the time the book The Travel of Monarch X, that was the book which he wrote, and from that the journey had started. Open the world of science to him, and that was the thing that opened the science, means his curiosity developed through that and opened the science to him. Richard E. Bright has never lost his scientific curiosity, and still he is working on his scientific curiosity. He keeps on working and still discovering new things, and his curiosity has means the lesson says that the curiosity has not yet ended. He didn't put a full stop that okay, now I have discovered this, I have achieved so many goals, I have been the best in the world, so now I need to stop. No, he didn't stop. He kept on going and kept on going. So this is how he never lost his scientific curiosity, and he is still working on his scientific achievements about the butterfly, the monarch butterflies. Here we come to the end of the chapter. Here we end the chapter, and thinking about the text, there are only I think 2 questions about it that you need to just read the lesson and do write down those question answers in your fair book. That is here we come to the end of the chapter. Take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much.